Russia has targeted Ukraine's energy infrastructure yet again. Ukrainian officials say at least 3 people have been killed, and port cities of Kherson and Odessa are among the key locations hit. The strikes take place despite ongoing diplomatic efforts between Kyiv and Moscow on multiple levels. Will the negotiations be affected amid the latest barrage? Here's a report.
Russia has hammered Ukraine's energy infrastructure with powerful strikes once again. A barrage of over 400 drones and 40 missiles was launched into Ukraine overnight. Energy grids have been knocked out. Once again, thousands of buildings in Kyiv are without heat in freezing temperatures. Ukraine's southern city of Kherson is in flames. Russia's drone and missile strikes have engulfed its residential areas as firefighters race against time to extinguish burning homes. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia is using cold winter weather as leverage against Ukraine.
The Russians struck, among other things, at facilities on which the operation of nuclear power plants depends, and this is a danger for Ukraine, for our entire region, and for Europe. Today, the units of our Ukrainian nuclear power plants reduced generation, 1 unit automatically shut down. This is a level of strikes that no terrorist in the world has ever allowed themselves.
The strikes come in the same week that Russian and Ukrainian officials held US-mediated talks in Abu Dhabi. Zelensky claims Russia launched over 2,000 attack drones, 200 guided aerial bombs, and 116 missiles of various types at Ukraine this past week. The Ukrainian president continues to urge the world to not turn a blind eye to Russian attacks on his country. As the 4-year-long war does not seem close to ending yet, Washington has decided to step up its efforts. It has offered to host talks between the two sides again next week, that too in United States. The US has mediated 2 rounds of negotiations between the two sides in Abu Dhabi since January, and it has managed to broker a major prisoner exchange. However, Washington has failed to reach a breakthrough on territory. Both Moscow and Kyiv say the talks have been difficult. Along with Slovyansk, Kramatorsk is one of 2 major cities that Ukraine still controls in its eastern Donetsk region. The 2 are considered stronghold cities that are essential to Ukraine's defenses in the area. Russia has made capturing the entire Donetsk region a strategic priority. The US has proposed creating a free economic zone in Donetsk, but Russian President Vladimir Putin has demanded that Ukraine surrender the entire region, including the areas that Moscow has failed to capture militarily. Now, days after negotiations to halt Russia's war in Ukraine ended inconclusively, Zelensky says Russia and the US are discussing bilateral economic agreements worth some $12 trillion, including deals that would affect Ukraine. Trump has previously dangled the possibility of sanctions relief and renewed economic cooperation with Russia as inducements for Moscow to agree to halt the war. Putin, however, has insisted that Russia will achieve its objectives in Ukraine. Russia, which already occupies around 20% of its neighbor's territory, is pushing for full control of Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region, but Ukraine has also made it clear that there will be no signing of an agreement that fails to deter Russia from invading again.